Hey everyone, welcome to this session, and we are going to see AWS Cloud Automation using Terraform. So, introducing myself, I am Roshan Kumar Patro. I am a community builder of AWS, continuing my second year of it in Game Tech cohort, and also I am the R&D intern at some international universities pursuing cloud automation and cloud energy optimization techniques, doing research works over there. So you can connect me over there, and you can connect me here also in LinkedIn, GitHub, and Twitter. So we will come to the topic of AWS Cloud Automation using Terraform. So when you hear what is Terraform, what does it come to your mind? So this is the basic funda, or the what you see as the basic creator or the architecture of this Terraform. So you can see here what is Terraform. So Terraform is basically a provision management and automation tool. So when you say cloud automation, what does it come to your mind? Means whenever you do in the graphics mode, the whenever you go to a AWS Cloud console, you go to EC2 instance, launch that, write some names and their tag names and all those things, create a key pair, security groups, attach the you can say as the private keys, and the attach the inbound rules, ingress rules, all those things, right? You do it graphically. So going to one you can say one step and the another, you can go to the cloud console and do the things. So what if I say, if I will launch your whole kind of all the graphics automation into a single code, that is known as automation. So whenever you do all those things in you can say as written code, and whenever you do that with apply of a one click, it will host all the things in the cloud. So what do you mean by provision management? Is provision management will be helping you setting up the entire architecture on the itself on the way to cloud by writing a simply code. So that is known as infrastructure as a code. So the we are writing the whole infrastructure. Suppose you want to say we are launching EC2, and we are also launching EBS at the back end, and we are also launching S3 at the back end. So instead of going to multiple arenas, like go to EC2 page, then go to key pair page, go to security groups page, then go to EBS page, then go to AMI creation page, then go to again to S3 page. So you have to perform various number of steps, right? So instead of that, in bigger industry, what they prefer is for the cloud automation, right? So instead of doing all those things, infrastructure as a code. With one code, the whole infrastructure will be updated. So in one click, all the infrastructure like EC2 will be instance will be launched out at the same time. S3 will be done. All the things will be means you can say synced properly. So it is using declarative sentence, that is when you know as a command, when you give the things, they will receive at the end of that, and then they will deploy it. So it helps to deploy the full infrastructure on behalf of us. So as I said, it will be deploying the full infrastructure. So you can see is the the whole architecture of Terraform. So Terraform will be using as a language called as HCL, that is HashiCorp corporation language. That is you can say as the official language that is given by Terraform, which is similar to JSON. So this is SCM that you are seeing here. This is the GitHub code. So from the GitHub code or the local code or anything, you will when you will run the things, it will going via the Terraform cloud, and whenever you click apply or plan, it will be creating a new infrastructure. And what is there in this Terraform cloud? Here it is shown out. So the process of Terraform cloud is the Terraform core via the RPC. RPC is remote procedural clause. So it will via the remote procedural clause calls the plugins, and those plugins will be containing all the providers and provisioners. Providers in the sense AWS, Azure, GCP, and all those things. So via the RPC, the Terraform core connects to AWS cloud on behalf of you, and with the your passwords and all those settings things. So with the help of libraries and all those things, with the help of upstream APIs, it will be connecting it to the cloud. And after it connects the thing with the cloud, then what you have wrote the code, you will plan and apply to deploy your new infrastructure. So this is the whole idea of Terraform. So you can see the whole workflow what it does. So basically it will be having init, plan, apply, and destroy. So it will be downloading all the plugins required. So plan will be validating the code, and apply will be applying it really to configure the infrastructure on the cloud. And destroy is destroying the whole infrastructure at a single time. So whenever you go to graphically, you have to go to one place like EC2 page, again to S3 page, manually delete them. Here what we'll do, on a single code, it will be destroying the whole infrastructure. So that's known as, and that's the power of cloud automation, and that's the power of Terraform. So that's so coming to the, as the console mode, that is AWS console. You can use your login ID or anything or your passwords to go to that. So you can go to console dot amazon.com to get this AWS page. So coming here graphically, what we do is we go to EC2. Then for instances, you can see as for instances, you will click to instances again, then go for the procedures. For the elastic block storage, that is EBS, you will go to volumes. Again, to launch EC3, or what you say as S3, you will search for S3. Again, to you will go to that service. Again, you will go search for any other service, you will go to that and connect the things. So if I show you what all things are done, so if I click to create instance or your launch instance, so now you have to give your server name. Suppose I say as AWS. Then you have to select your the AMI, that is you can say as Amazon machine image, so that it will launch in that OS, or the you can say as the host. So you can use it Ubuntu, AWS, Linux, anything. So here you have to select those things. Again, you can see here key pair. So here you will go to select for key pair, or you can create a new key pair also. So again, if the VPC is not provided, you have to create for VPC. Again, if you have not done your security group, you will do a security group. So you can select existing ones or anything. So these are the things allow SSH traffic from anywhere, or the custom IP or the CIDR blocks that you may require. So these all things are the ingress and outgress, you can say egress, from the security group. So security groups is nothing but a firewall. Means your website will be viewed by which amount of means people, and which all things, and which all you can say as protocols are accepted and not accepted. So if you click to allow HTTP and all these things, so you can see that. So configure storage. Now this is the EBS part. So you will go actually in the earlier stages of AWS, these all settings are not there. So first of all, you will go to key pair page. You can see if I search for key pair, you can see here the key pairs. So if I go to key pair, you have to manually go in earlier stages of AWS. You have to manually go and create the key pair, and again you have to save the private key and the RSA key. Again, if I search for you can say as firewall or security groups, you see VPC feature. So if you click to any of this, you can see here security groups. So after creating all these things, you will be attaching this with these things. So you have to go it to do it manually and go things graphically. Again, if you go to S3 and all, so if I click to launch instance, the normal instance will be launched out. So what I did is, what Terraform is doing is completing these all sequence with a code. So you can say as first we launched for key pair, then for security groups, then for you can say as the EBS part. Then we did for, first of all, we gave a name of it, then we gave the AMI machine image, then EBS, then we gave for any other specifications, and after that launch instance. So these all things were done for any EC2 autom means work. So now what Terraform is suggesting is, with this you write a code, and with this you don't have to go it graphically, you will do it automatically. So if you go and search with as Terraform AWS, So you can see here Terraform AWS. So this is the you can say is the HCL code, or the you can say it is like compatibility with the JSON codes also. So this is what it will be looking like. So what it is, provider is what your means what your provider is. Here you can change it to Azure or GCP or AWS. So provider will be number of things, Alibaba, anything. So provider will be AWS, and your region must be specified here. So as you can see here, create a VPC. So here like that, you can create a EC2 instance also. So like this, every other details is given here. So if you go to this, you will see that all the things will be specified here, what all things to be written out here. So you can see all the AWS key ID, AWS secret key, so that via the RPC calls, it will be going there and supporting it and signing it on your behalf, right? So you can see here in the docs, anything you want, you can go ahead and check the docs. Yeah, so you can see here, if you search for any module, right? So confirming with EC2 instance, right? Terraform. So you can see here the module is there. So how to search in between of the modules to get the codes, right? So if I show you an example of it, so you can say at the Terraform code, which looks like this. For an example, I'm showing you this. So you can see this, how it is written, all those things, and this is the whole code that is done to provide that infrastructure exactly what we were doing graphically. So, you know, we are trying to launch a website via cloud, AWS cloud with the EC2 instance and the S3 with the CloudFront. So if I go to a brief for it, so these are all the task details that we'll be performing. So first of all, we'll be creating the key and the security group to allow the port 80, because the website is working on port 80 and HTTP is also working on port 80. So first of all, we'll be writing the code for create the key and security group, which allows for this one. And then with the minimal amount of things, we'll be launching the EC2 instance code. And after that, in the EC2, we'll be using that key and security group which you have created in step one. So means what you say, whenever you select the existing security group or existing key pair, you select from graphically the drop down button. Like that here also we will be doing that attaching part via the code. So again, after that, we'll be attaching the EBS volume that AWS does automatically for you. But while writing the code, you have to do that. And also the mount the volume into, as the var.ww.html. Once your code is in this folder, that is var www/html, it will be showing you the all the you can say as the website will be launched at port 80. So what is the logic of this folder? So whenever you try to install any httpd, in the Linux, when you install yeah, via if I say as Red Hat Linux, if you do yum install httpd, that is httpd server, and if you want to show your website or host your website, then it is a rule that you have to keep all your index.html or your webcode.php or your front page in this folder, so that whenever you hit the your website, it will go to this folder and check what's the content in it, and then it will load the contents in the web page. So that's why we'll be uploading the code and mounting the EBS to this one. So now you can see the developer will be having uploaded the website code, that is the PHP code, simple code you can say as the putting the you can say image and videos so into the GitHub repo, and we will copy that GitHub repo into var dot you can say this one, so that from the GitHub it will be copying the website code, that is the index.html code or the web code.php or any one to this folder. So manually you can't do. That's why we are using GitHub. So using the Git clone, we'll be doing those things. So after that, we'll be creating the S3 bucket, copy the images, and using that. So using S3 bucket, we'll be using videos and images to store there. And also we'll be using CloudFront. So what will be the purpose of CloudFront? CloudFront will be helping us in determining all those images and videos in high speed with low latency. Then they will be uploading it to the cloud edge servers, so that any edge servers nearer to us will be means we are staying in India. So via means the main center, there are many edge servers located in India. So you can say as if you say as is Andhra Pradesh or Vizag or anything, Mumbai. So the main data center is there at one. So but many edge centers are there. So whenever you will go and click the hit the page, instead of going to the whole means main data center that is present in Mumbai or Chennai or anywhere, so it will go to the cache server that is known as the edge server. So from the edge server, it will take. So the distance cover will be low. So that's why it will be receiving less latency. So these all things will be writing to deploy a website on the AWS Cloud via the Terraform. So this is what we will be doing. So before going to any of the codes, we need to set up the Terraform CLI and the AWS CLI. So what is CLI is here? Command line interface. So everything will not be done in graphical mode. So while the RPC will be signing off with the, you can say as the via the sign in buttons. So via AWS CLI, it will be collecting your access key and security key or the secret key access ID to sign in to the AWS cloud. So for that we need to install AWS CLI in our system. So what we need to do is you go to there, AWS CLI. You can see here AWS command line interface. So if you go there, so you have all the listings done and you can download it. So you can go to there and download the AWS command line interface, that is the AWS CLI. So after that, go to the environment variables and set all the things. So when you will see and when you will write AWS minus minus version, so this will be the result, that is AWS CLI installed is this one. So if you don't see this one, this is means you have not got your environmental variable not attached it properly or anything else not done properly. So for AWS CLI, this should be showing it after you click AWS minus minus version. So this is the first thing. And whenever you after that to do things, so whenever you do in the AWS cloud, you do the sign in, right? So for here also for signing in, the password you have to give here, and the command for that is AWS configure. So if you click to AWS configure, so they will ask you for, means for the first time, that is the access key ID. So what is the access key ID of your account? So whenever you go to means you have created your account, they will be giving you an access key and the secret key. So you have to keep that in your mind. And if you means if you lost it somewhere, just create one another IAM user and they will be giving you another access key or the secret key pass ID, and keep that file saved and open it. And what that the code it is written access key, just paste it here. So after you paste it, just paste enter, then you will get see the access key or the secret access key. Again enter the default region name, they will be asking out. Click to AP South 1 or anything, you can click to AP South 1, or you can say as 1A or 1B or 1C or anything. So AP West also, so anything. So if you want EB, so just click enter, and the default output format will be none. And then if you go to enter, it is the signing button. So whenever you want to see your all these things listed out properly or not, if you want to see that, so AWS configure list profiles. So all the things that is done, it is saved here in the default one. So if I click to list profiles, you can see the default. So whenever you write this AWS configure and all these things, it will be stored in this default profile. You can make your own different profile, but it is means for the first time when you create, it will be storing in the default section. So let us come to the code, and let us do the things. And once more it is required that you have to install Terraform also, Terraform CLI. So first of all, you will be downloading the Terraform, and go to that and do the setup. You can see here download releases, and if you see to Terraform minus minus version, you can see here Terraform version is this one. So until you get this in your command line interface, it's not completely installed. So like this we have to do. So after that we'll be writing the code. So let's create a folder. Here I name Terra, and now what we have to create is, suppose I give a file name ec2.tf. So one thing you have to remember is for tf or the Terraform, the file extension is tf, and if you want an extension of VS Code, Terraform supporting things, you can install via the plugins or the extensions present in VS Code. So ec2.tf. So now what we have to do is, first we have to name our providers. The most and foremost important thing. If you see AWS Terraform provider code. So in this, there is no need of remembering how the code was there, or means remembering the code. All the things will be done from the documents, and all the things will be copied from the documents itself, so that we can do it directly. So I am showing you how to via go through the documents. So it will be easy for you to when you will be going for any other cloud provider or AWS. So you can see here, so configure the AWS provider. So if you click here, if I go now and down, so copy and paste. So provider is our AWS, and region that we are specifying is AP South 1. AP South 1, and as it will be signing in to our AWS account, you will be seeing here, you can see here as this one. So usage. So region will be there, access key will be there, secret key will be there. Now what is this? You can copy here, you can paste here. Okay, so here you can give your access key, or you can give your secret key, and then the provider tab is, or the module here in each Terraform, this is called as a module. So this is called the provider module. So in each module there will be set of things you have to do. So you can do these things, or if you want to hide your security keys and all those things from the code, you can do mention like this. What you see is here, this is the code that I have written for the website hosting. So I'll be explaining it to you. So if you go to there, as I showed you, profile was default and another one, and you can use your. So instead of this, for my security, I will be writing here my profile. So you can go here and change it to default. So the access key and the access key and the secret keys will be coming out from the default profile, and you'll be signing it easily. So now for my concern, I'm using my profile. So first of all, this is done, and now if I go to terminal, new terminal. So the first command what we have to do for Terraform is Terraform init. So Terraform init will be seeing your all those provider and what it is needing to done, and according to that. So now we have done your provider as AWS. So according to that, Terraform will download AWS plugins. So if you click to Terraform init, so that is means by initialize. So if you click enter, so you can see here initializing the backend. So in backend process, they have initialized the backend with the provider of AWS plugins. Okay. So now it is successfully done. Now what we have to do is you have to make a security group and make a key pair. So for that, if you go to search for AWS security groups Terraform. Okay. So like this, you have to go via the documents and search and calculate. So you can see here the whole code is written here. So you have to, just copy and paste. Nothing is means difficult in it. So here you can see what is the the compulsory parts to write and what is the non-compulsory parts. So as I told you, there ingress and outgress or egress. So SSH will be allowed or not, HTTPD will be allowed or not, anything. So you just copy paste these things and paste it in your code. So if we will going to that, we have a specific command for this. So if I copy this is the same I showed you. So this is for the security group, right? So you can see here for resource. So this is known as the resource part. So each of the resource part will be having some independent columns, or you can say as independent things to be written out. So you can see here resource is your AWS security group, and what is the name of it. So I have mentioned it here, name Roshan group R. So again, the name and description will be there. This is not compulsory, but the name is compulsory, description is not. So ingress, what is that? So I have allowed the SSH port here 22, port number from port to port, and the protocol is TCP. The seeder blocks will be allowed from anywhere. And the ingress is also I have allowed also the HTTPD port. So this is the code for that. So for the outgress, anything, any port and anyone with any IP can hit our website. So that's why I have opened it. So the outgress and ingress, I have kept it for SSH and HTTPD. So this is the code for creating a security group. Now what is the thing here is tags. So tags, if you can give, it will be a very good coding efficiency, that you are giving the tags. It will be helpful in the later stages when you go and any other services, you will be knowing it. So this will be the block, and now what we have to create, it is a key pair. So if you go and search for AWS key pair Terraform, so you can see, here this is the native. So like this, you can maintain your key name and the public key. You have deployed anything or created anything, so you can give directly to here, as you were giving the access key and secret key directly. Or if you don't want directly, you can generate it. So there is an option for generating it. So you can also generate it. So if I copy this code, and you can paste it here. But also, as I said, this key pairs. Okay, so what you can match the codes here if you want. So resource AWS key pair deployer, key name and public key. So same only I've written same. So key name is my another name that I have given here. So var dot key ssh name, you can give anything out of it. So for the variables purpose, I've given this. So for defining a variable in Terraform, you have a variable module here. So variable, and that you can say as the module name. So default will be this name. So it will be importing here. So key name will be coming from that part, and public key I'm not able to show the whole part because it's for security. So that's why I created a public key as it is. So you can see here resource name TLS private key pair, as public key is created from private key. That's why we have to create a private key first. So from that we will be able to create the, you can say as the .pam file or the public key. So from that we have created the OpenSSH public key. So if I copy this whole content, you can see here the variable I mentioned you, and it will be going that. So var will be the one it will be existing completely var.ssh key name. So variable of ssh key name. So ssh key name is defined where? Here. So what is the name of it and what is the value given to it? So key Roshan. So your key name will be key Roshan. So for maintaining a flexibility in it, so you can directly write anything like key s. So this will be okay. So but I'm maintaining a flexibility here. So this is the variable module in Terraform. So you can do this, and for the public key, I have maintained a private key a resource for it. So if you want to see that, you can go to resource private key AWS Terraform. So yeah, you can see those things, and you can see that. So after creating the private key, I have given the PEM, and from the PEM, you can see as the SSH key is generated out and the public key is given here. So if I go to this, till now we have created security group and the key. So what next should be done as from the task? So now we'll be launching the EC2 instance and attaching the key and the security group. So if I go for this, if I search for this launch EC2 instance using Terraform. So you can see here AWS instance. As I said you can see here the following arguments are supported. So you have to mention their option. You in every part or every docs you'll be seeing this optional, 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 optional. Whenever it will be necessary, it will be writing there compulsory. So compulsory one you have to write in the code, and for the optional you have to leave it. So that's the thing they have written. So you can see here the resource. The resource is AWS instance, means launching the AWS instance. The name will be this one. So the foo instance will be launched, means you can say the module name is foo. So AMI, the AMI you were choosing here, that is certain AMI ID is there. You can see here AMI 08664-bit. That AMI you have to go and copy here. Okay. So instance type is T2 micro. Whenever you go to this, you will select like this. So any of the things like Amazon L2X or LT3 or anything. So like that I am choosing for instance type is T2 micro. So if I copy this and give to this, it will be a similar one, but I am adding extra resources in it. So what I am adding now, if I go to this, so as AMI was compulsory, instance type was compulsory, I've written all those things, but extra things I'm adding here. What is this? Key name and security groups. So what now? Security group, we have defined it earlier. So security groups can be called. You can see here called. You can call the whole thing by module name. So where is this group are? Here. So this is the security group module. This is not the name of the security group. The name of the security group will be, you can say as anything, R123, anything. I've given the same name here, but it can be anything. But this one is the module name, resource module name. So from that I called here, and the key name can be defined as this one. So you can see here the key name that I generated it from var.ssh key name. And as I told you, tags is important. You can give anything, name as this one, environment as anything, or anyone. So like this you have to define it. So for launching the EC2 instance, this is I am doing the things. So yeah, you can see. So after doing that, what we have the task is launch one EBS and mount to var.w html. So if I go to this, as the next step was to mount the thing whenever you launch the instance. That's this is the instance I launched. You can see here the details. If I go to storage, the EBS, it is already launched, right? So they have already launched it, attached it, and mounted it. You can see here slash devices slash xvda attachment type. So they have internally done all the things what you have to do writing the code. And when you write this code and when you want to connect to the EC2 instance, if you click to connect, there is a SSH key. So right, they have SSH, you can do here and all those things. So you can do SSH and you have to enter the you can say as EC2 instance and do install all the HTTPD servers there and all those servers there. So for that we need to go to and write the code. So for that you search for SSH AWS instance EC2 Terraform. So using a null resource, whenever you perform anything with does not having any link with AWS Cloud directly, means we are linking it directly to the EC2 instance. So there you can use null resource. So if you search for AWS, you can see here the documents you will be getting here. SSH, the Terraform docs. As I said, you null resource Terraform. So in null resource, you can write the SSH. You can see here the connection. You can do the connection of SSH here. So you can see here the triggers will be done. The remote execution can be done. So, but whatever you do, the installation part, it is not done locally, right? This is done remote execution. So for that, it is also giving a provisioner as remote execution, and there you have to write the inline codes. Means yum install httpd, yum install this, or start the service in EC2 instance and all those things. So first we have to go entry via SSH, and then we have to install the things using the provisioner remote execution. So for that I have this null resource. So null resource, the name is this one, and connection is what? Type is SSH, and user is, as you see, EC2 user. You can write here root user also, means simply turning it to root. So it will be having higher power. I'm using EC2 user, which is the normal default one. And private key is the key generated, that is key which was previously generated from our variable, that is the where.sh key name. It will be going the older variable and giving you the private key. And host is which one is the host and which one you want to connect is. So whenever you connect this IP, it is giving your public IP address, right? So this is your public IP address. AWS instance dot myos web public IP. So whenever it is done, AWS instance is having one option called public IP. So from that we can determine the host. So via this the connection is done, means the entry is done, and after that the provisioner remote execution. What we have to do? So first of all, yum install httpd and the PHP, as I have written a website code in PHP. So we have to install two things, that is HTTPD for HTTP server and the PHP, and also the Git for transferring the codes to the var www.html file. And then what we have to do is the start the HTTP service using the service HTTPD restart, so that it will be starting the HTTP service. This is what it is. Sudo chk config HTTPD on will be handling all your requests, that is the HTTPD server is on or not. So this is the thing that we have to write for remote execution. So if I copy this and I can do here. So after creating the instance, it will be doing the SSH connection, and then it will be installing these things on the EC2 instance. So till now, you can see here, if you click to Terraform validate. So Terraform validate is a command which will be identifying all your syntax errors and all, it is present or not. So if you click to Terraform validate, it will validate it. If I click to Terraform validate, you can see here the configuration is valid. Means no errors and no syntax errors. So it is easier to do like that. And whenever you want to do or apply, Terraform apply, don't do Terraform apply. Whenever you click to Terraform apply, it will be a production side. So whenever you want to do and check whether all systems configuration is perfect or not, the TF state is coming out perfect or not, you click to Terraform plan. Terraform plan will be the, you can say, as the non-local version of running it, and with its live means you can say as it will check all the systems and tell you all it's is fine to go for Terraform apply. So that's the thing. Terraform validate will be validating your things. So now what? After installing the things, we have to go to and you can see the task. So copy the GitHub repo into this one. That is the mounting thing. The mounting thing we have to do. So as I can show you for launching the EBS volume that you have to do. So like this, you have to go and search for EBS volume, EBS volume, AWS Terraform. You can see here the resources in AWS EPS volume, availability zone is this, size is this one. Size is you can give 8 GB, 40 GB, anything, and tax is this one. So you can see, as I told you, the availability zone is required and other thing is optional. So this is how you go to docs and calculate the references. So from that, if you simply copy it, if you have that, and I have taken this size as 1 GB. So if I'm copying this right now to my new code that I have written, so after the completing of it, I will be attaching my EBS volume in it, which is 1 GB in its size. And then what we have to do? Then we have to mount the code to var www.html. So for attaching a volume to the instance launched above, you can search for, you can see what to do for EPS, AWS EPS volume attachment. You can see the device name as I was showing you the you can see here. You can see device name XDA. So like that, you have to give your device name as this, volume ID is this one, instance ID is this one. So like that you have to give, and after that you can give your AWS instance or what you are hosting. So this instance we have already launched, so we'll take this much part only. So volume ID, instance ID, and device name. So if I go for that, I have mentioned yes, device name SDD, and the volume ID will be, the earlier we created this volume, right? So this volume's ID, ABS, AWS EBS volume, you can see dot my EBS, dot ID. To give any ID, this is the process. The resource name dot the this means the resource name and what module name you have given to it, that's my EBS, and dot ID. It will be giving you the volume ID. And now instance ID. I have attached some conditions like force detach equal to true and depends on this, because after doing that, if my EBS volume is configuration is still active, then only attach, else not attach. So now what I will do is attaching this. So you can see, simply just copy from the docs of original Terraform website. So there will be no harm for it. So, depends on AWS EBS volume.myapes. This one, and instance, what I have launched here. This one. So after creation of volume and instance, attach it, not after that. So this will be creating and defending it. So now what's the next part? So we have to mount the things and copy the GitHub repo. We have created the EBS volume and successfully attached it, but the mounting has to be done and code to be copied out. So first of all, upload the code to GitHub, That is, if I have uploaded this, so if you can see here the PHP code, it will be anything, index.html abc, just a simple one I have uploaded. So from the github it will take that. So you can see here any just a simple one. So you can see here I have given the print will be ifconfig date and the calendar. So in the Linux, date and cal commands are there, and the ifconfig commands are there, so it will be working out. So now what I'll be doing is, just for the connection we have to go to there and copy paste the things. So for the copy paste of the things for github to our this folder, so there are some commands that is for mounting the things we have to write mkfs.ext4. So this is the you can be saying as the file system, that is FAT32 or NTFS or MKFS. So Linux is having MKFS.ext4. So XBDT. So this is the mounting we are doing. So mount this to where www.html according to this one. You can see here, and mount the volume to this one, right? So now we have to remove anything present in this web, anything, any code or any irrespective of things. So I'm writing rm remove, that is minus rf, that is www.html. So now simply copy to this folder. So what is the command? That's why for this folder, copying this git clone command is required. So for this git clone command I have installed earlier, what while going into the previous one, you can see here git. So for that's why I have included git here. So for that reason, if I will be going to again to that EC2 instance via the SSH and doing the remote execution as we did earlier for the yum install and things. Now for the mounting things. So git clone, now the uploaded code here to where www.html. If I extend it, you can see here there will be a no space here. So just a space give and write the destination folder. So if I copy this null resource again, if you want to go to the connection and deploy things, so again the same things, connection is, you can understand the same thing I have written here. You can see connection, and in the provisional remote execution just I've changed some commands, right? So mounting the things, just cloning the things. This code can be uploaded by you in your GitHub, and that GitHub code will be uploaded to this folder so that the website will be active. So now what's the task? This is done. Now create the S3 bucket, and so that we'll be creating the images to upload for it, and so via that you can see your website codes. So now what we have to do is, for the creating of S3 bucket, you can search for it, creating S3 buckets using Terraform. You can see here. So bucket, and a bucket will be named as my test bucket. This one is the simple one. So bucket and ACL. ACL is the access control list, that is private or public. So access control list is the one where users are allowed to see what they want to see, means the permissions required by the users. They will be able to see, or you will be only able to see, or any other IP only will be able to see or not. So if I make this public, anyone will see. So this is the thing you will need to copy. So if I do here, resources AWS S3 bucket, my bucket name is this one. So ACL will be what? Public read, means anyone can read it. The simple, I'm just copying it. So this will be creating one bucket. So after that, creating one bucket, we have to create the files, right? To upload the files. So if you go to EC3, EC2 and type S3, You can see here buckets. So you can see the option for create bucket. So now we have created a bucket. If you want to go to inside it, and now you can see as upload. So that upload will be doing it via the code. So what it is that? So putting the S3 buckets, S3 buckets object put in Terraform. Just simply randomly type anything, it will be coming out. You can see AWS S3 bucket object. So you see bucket name, the key name, and the source. Source is from your computer file, the source. So you can simply copy this as I collected here. You can see resources AWS S3 object, bucket name, key name, that is the what you want to give the object file name. Source is this one. I've given it. ACL again, you have to give ACL for this. So the object and the bucket is different. So under buckets, your objects will be going on. That's why I've created a depends on. After creating the bucket only, you have to create the object. So if no bucket is there, why to create the object? So it will be a good one for that. So like that only. Again, I've done for object one. This one is for video. So now I've given the video. So this is the file for that. If I go to this, if I cross check, I have my video playback.mp4 and my Roshan.jpg file. So you can see here ACL again I have given. So this one is the simple one. So for putting the objects in S3, just simply understanding and giving the codes. So now if we are good to go, we have just given the provider, the security group, the key pair, then the launching of the instance EC2. Then we go for SSH and start with the installations part, that is install the HTTPD and all those things, Git and PHP. Here, if you have written your code in HTML or anything, you have to install the packages likewise. So you have to install those packages. So now again, after that, we have attached the means created obvious volume for it. Again, now we have gone for attachment for it. You can see here attachment or the mounting part. And then after again that, we again connected via SSH to mount the part using MKFS file system and cloned the code to this folder so that when it will be active again, it will be showing us the website. So as in, we have created a code such as that video SRC or the SRC image SRC will be coming out from the, you can say as the S3 image bucket. So that image bucket is stored in S3 image. So whenever you click this, you have created your S3 bucket from here. So putting your objects from S3, this is the picture I have put, this is the video I have put, and this is the end. So whenever you click this, it will be creating a S3 file. So whenever I click this, suppose I take as kk.png. So this file, object URL, what you have to do after you go to that, just upload your that link to here by editing the code, GitHub code. Leave it blank for initial purpose. Leave it blank this one also. And once you get the AWS S3 object URL, after you create from Terraform plan, put it here just. So after you write, again click to Terraform init so that it will again initialize all the plugins and download everything that you have written extra. So initializing the backends. You can see downloading provider TLS, plugin for provider null that you have written for null resource, again for local that it is downloading provider AWS, all the things that you've written in code, it will start downloading the plugins. So you can see here. So after that, if you click to Terraform plan as told earlier, Terraform plan. So what all resources it will be adding to AWS Cloud and all those things it will be showing you. You can see. Yes, you can see that. There is some warning interpolation, nothing to be worried. You can see here 12 resources will be added out. What all the things you will be adding it and all those things, it is written in detail. So this will show you what all things it will be doing in Terraform apply. So if you want to click Terraform apply and enter. You can be seeing what all the things it will be doing. Now you have to enter yes. You can see here TLS private key creating AWS. You can see here all those things are creating. Bucket is also creating. So you can see here after you create everything, it will be showing you one by one it is created. And as we written here, see instance OS my web is creating, still creating. CCC, it is entered to remote execution. So now it is going there to connecting via SSH, and host is this public IP. So you can see here AWS working. So the null remote. So it will be connecting via SSH. So again, the process is installed. You can see here the package of Git and all those things, HTTP tools, the CLI, Git core, all these things it will be doing. So, remote compressing objects. So you can see here everything is done till date. So now if you go to check, see key pairs, the new key one that is we have mentioned it is launched. Again, if you go to security groups, okay, you will go to volumes. You can see here my volume is launched. You can see just launched 8/1/2022. 27. So if we go to, you can go to security groups, you can see the same one they've created. So isn't it cool? So if you go to instances, this is the one we have created. So it's still initializing, and after some time, it will be 2 by 2 checks passed. And if you go to the public IP, it will be opening the sites running. This session was to give you insights how the cloud automation is done to automate this type of things. So if you want to destroy all the things you have deployed, just click Terraform destroy. Just simply it will destroy everything, the resources, that is 12 resources you can see. And yes, so you can see destroying all the resources, it will be start destroying. So that's the power of Terraform. You can apply at one go, infrastructure will be launched at one go, infrastructure will be deployed destructively. So this is how it is done. So you can wait for another seconds. You can see now destroy complete. 12 resources either we were added, 12 resources that is not destroyed. If you click to refresh, you can be seeing it terminated. All the things that you have done, it will be terminated. So if you go to key pairs and refresh, okay, it is gone. So that's the power of Terraform in AWS and cloud automation. This is Roshan signing out from today's session. So hope you have learned well for cloud automation. Thank you.